Tarzan of the Apes, 1912. Orphaned as a babe in the African jungle, tiny John Clayton, the only child of the Lord and Lady Greystoke, is rescued by a tribe of great apes. The child, now named Tarzan, grows to manhood in this savage world among the fierce anthropoids. Aided by his keen knife and innate intelligence, Tarzan ascends to become king of the apes, able to face any peril and conquer all foes. When men come to Tarzan's jungle, they bring danger that is motivated by greed and deceit. All of Tarzan's cunning will be required if he is to defeat this threat and win the love of Jane Porter, the beautiful young woman whose appearance in Tarzan's jungle forever changes him. The Return of Tarzan, 1913. Disconsolate over the loss of Jane Porter's hand to his cousin William Cecil Clayton, Tarzan renounces his title of Lord Greystoke and returns to Paris to visit his friend Paul D'Arnaud. Realizing the ape man is not suited to the vicissitudes of civilization, D'Arnaud helps his grieving comrade acquire a post in the French Secret Service that better fits Tarzan's adventurous nature. After disrupting a Russian espionage operation, the ape man is tossed overboard during his ocean passage to South Africa and resumes his primitive life on the west coast. He befriends the Waziri tribe and leads them on a trek to explore the lost city of Opar, a forgotten land populated by a bestial race ruled by the mercurial high priestess La. There, Tarzan's path will cross once again with that of Jane Porter, but can the two realize their love is destined before they meet death on the altar of the flaming god? The Beasts of Tarzan, 1914. After settling at their London estate as Lord and Lady Greystoke, Tarzan and Jane find their contentment shattered by the ape man's former enemies, the Russian spies Nicholas Rokoff and Alexis Paulvitch. Bent on revenge, the two villains kidnap Jane and the couple's infant son Jack, stranding Tarzan naked and alone on a remote jungle island while fleeing to the African interior. Tarzan's savage nature reemerges as he recruits Sheeta the panther, Akut and his tribe of great apes, and the mighty warrior Mugambi to pursue the criminals up the Ugambi River into the heart of the jungle, where cannibal tribes hold sway and his desperate adversaries pursue their cruel vendetta. The Son of Tarzan, 1915. Unaware of his father's savage past, Tarzan and Jane's young son Jack becomes captivated by Ajax, the star of a trained ape act. Ajax, actually Tarzan's longtime friend Akut, has been brought to London by Tarzan's old enemy Alexis Paulvitch, who hopes to wreak vengeance on the ape man. After killing Paulvitch in self-defense, Jack and Akut flee to Africa, where they assume the wild life of Jack's mighty sire. Growing to manhood in the jungle, the Greystoke heir earns the name Korak the Killer, and befriends Miriam, an Arab waif rescued from a life of torment in her adoptive father's village. The couple's idyllic jungle life is challenged by the arrival of evil men, whose schemes to separate the pair and the ensuing perils only strengthen Korak and Miriam's bond. Tarzan and the Jewels of Opar, 1916. When fate deals a devastating blow to Tarzan and Jane's fortunes, the ape man must once again refill their coffers from the legendary treasure vaults of Opar, forgotten outpost of lost Atlantis. There awaits the high priestess La, ready to sacrifice Tarzan upon the altar of the flaming god for having spurned her love, even while the traitorous half-bestial high priest of Opar schemes to usurp her rule. Meanwhile, Jane faces her own troubles when she falls victim to the machinations of disgraced Belgian officer Lieutenant Werper and a band of ivory and slave traders. But when an earthquake strikes down Tarzan and leaves him with only the memory of his youth as an ape, how will he unravel the nefarious plot that imperils Jane's life and recover the stolen jewels of Opar? Jungle Tales of Tarzan, 1919. How did the helpless child of the shipwrecked couple John and Alice Clayton become the superhuman legend that is Tarzan of the Apes, Lord of the Jungle? The 12 archetypal coming-of-age tales that compose this book tell the full story, finding their place alongside the richest and most meaningful allegories of mythology. Tarzan grows to adulthood among the apes of the jungle, facing the dawning realization that he is not like them, he is a man. As he battles for survival against savage beasts and merciless cannibals, he experiences a growing intellectual maturity that includes the pangs of his first love, an emerging spirituality, and a longing to discover his place among his own kind. Tarzan the Untamed, 1920 World War I inflames East Africa as German troops raze the Greystokes estate, where Tarzan returns to find the charred, lifeless remains of his beloved Jane. Consumed by vengeance, the ape-man wages guerrilla warfare against the hated enemy, using his most savage tactics to help the Allies drive the invaders from his land. As the British Army prevails, Tarzan departs to rejoin the great apes that are his family, only to be confronted by a trackless wasteland that stands in his way. Having endured a trial of unimaginable torment, he enters the inaccessible valley of Shuja, the city of maniacs. Outnumbered by crazed foes and their lion and parrot familiars, the ape-man must liberate his friends from a city where madness rules. Tarzan the Terrible. 1921. Driven by the single-minded purpose of tracking the missing Jane and her German abductor, Tarzan braves the forbidding wastes of the Great Barrier Swamps to enter the primeval land of Pal Yuldan, an unforgiving world of tailed humanoids pitted in unrelenting war, where the fierce reptilian griff stalks its prey. As Jane battles to free herself from captivity in Allure, the City of Light, and flees deeper into the deadly environs of the strange land, she must learn to hone her own jungle skills and emerge as a heroine in her own right, or succumb to the merciless perils of savage Pal Yuldan. Meanwhile, a fierce stranger follows Tarzan into the interior, bearing a rifle and bandoliers, bent on a mysterious quest. Tarzan and the Golden Lion, 1922. Betrayed by a band of international conspirators, Tarzan is drugged and left to die in the jungle. But then a quirk of fate delivers him into the hands of the frightful priests of Opar, the last bastion of lost Atlantis. La, high priestess of the flaming god, spares his life once again, driven by her hopeless love for the ape-man, only to find her act rewarded by the betrayal of her own people. To save her, Tarzan flees with La into the legendary Valley of Diamonds, while Jad Balja, his faithful golden lion, follows. Ahead lies a land where sentient gorillas rule over servile humans, and behind, Esteban Miranda, who looks exactly like Tarzan, plots further treachery. Tarzan and the Ant-Men, 1924. No man had ever penetrated the great thorn forest until Tarzan of the Apes crashed his plane behind it on his solo flight. Within he finds a beautiful country, but in it lives the Alali, strange Stone Age giants whose women regard all men as less than slaves. And beyond the Alali lies the country of the Ant-Men, little people only 18 inches tall. There in Trohana Dalmakus, Tarzan is an honored guest until he is captured by the warriors of Veltopismakus in one of the Ant-Men's wars. But unknown to the ape-man, they have plans for him. By the advanced science of the little people, Tarzan is shrunk to their size and set to work as a quarry slave. Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. 1927, cruel slave traders have invaded the jungle domain of Tarzan of the Apes. Now they head toward a fabled empire of riches that no outsider has ever seen, intent on looting its great treasures. And toward the same legendary land stumbles the lost James Blake, an American whom Tarzan has vowed to rescue. Following their spoors, the ape-man comes upon the lost Valley of the Sepulchre, where Knights Templar still fight to resume their holy crusade to free Jerusalem. Soon Tarzan, the true lord of their ancient motherland, finds himself armed with lance and shield, partaking of jousting and ancient combat. And then it is that the slavers strike. Tarzan and the Lost Empire, 1928. Somewhere in the heart of Africa, a young archaeologist disappeared in the remote jungle mountains. Eric von Harben, son of an old missionary friend of Tarzan of the Apes. Now the ape-man seeks to rescue the lost scholar. The trail leads to a mysterious valley where Tarzan discovers two surviving outposts of ancient Rome, virtually unchanged by time. And there, Tarzan is thrust into the bloody gladiatorial arena, doomed to face every peril the cruel and corrupt emperor of Castra Sanguinarius can devise to ensure the ape-man's death. Miles away in Castrum Mare, Eric von Harben also awaits execution upon the sands of another tyrant's arena, destined to die before he can pledge his heart to the fair Favonia, daughter of one of the emperor's favored patricians. Tarzan at the Earth's core. 1929. David Innes was a captive in Pellucidar, the strange world within a world that lies under the Earth's crust. To rescue him, Tarzan comes into that savage prehistoric land at the head of an expedition equipped with every modern device. But Pellucidar is not like the jungles the ape man knows. Here are saber-toothed tigers and every savage creature from the beginning of time. Here the horizon curves back on itself and the sun hangs always in the middle of the sky. And now, for the first time, Tarzan is hopelessly lost in a land teeming with unknown gigantic killers, where even time has no meaning. Tarzan the Invincible. 1931. La was in trouble. The high priestess of the flaming god in the ancient city of Opar, forgotten outpost of Atlantis, had been betrayed by her people and locked in the eon-haunted dungeons until Tarzan came to rescue her. La still loved Tarzan, but Tarzan brought her to his people and then left her. Now, together with a strange woman of Tarzan's kind, she lies bound in the tent of an Arab slave trader, dreading her certain fate. Meanwhile, Tarzan is beset by a strange band of men who have invaded his land, led by a madman bent on evil subversion. Tarzan Triumphant. 1931. Evil men have come to the land of Tarzan of the Apes, looting and killing as they move. But other evil lurks in a small valley of the Genzi Mountains where the last remnants of an ugly, perverted people dwell in what they call their faith. An ancient belief that came from Rome nearly 2,000 years before. Now they are wicked and many of them are insane. And now they have captured Lady Barbara Collis and mean to use her as a human sacrifice, unless Tarzan arrives in time. Tarzan and the City of Gold, 1932. When Tarzan of the Apes frees a man being tortured by cruel bandits, he is surprised to learn that the stranger comes from no race or country the ape man knows. He is from the fabled land of Onthar, where lie two ancient cities unknown to the outside world. One is Athne, City of Ivory. The other is Kathni, City of Gold and Evil. Their great prides of trained lions are used to hunt down men and wage eternal war. And there Tarzan meets the beautiful Queen Nemone, who is determined to have Tarzan as her king, or feed him to the lions. Tarzan and the Lion Man. 1933. A great safari comes to Africa to make a movie, struggling across the veldt and through the jungle in great 10-ton trucks equipped with all the advantages of civilization. But now it is halted, almost destroyed by the poisoned arrows of the savage Bansuto tribe. There is no way to return. Ahead lies the strange Valley of Diamonds, where hairy gorillas live in their town of London on the Thames, ruled by King Henry VIII. And behind them comes Tarzan of the Apes with the golden lion, seeking the man who might have been his twin brother in looks, though hardly in courage. Tarzan and the Leopard Men, 1935. As the steel-clawed leopard men look for victims for their savage rites, the secret cult strikes terror into the hearts of all the villagers. Only Orando of the Utengi dares to declare war on them. And with Orando goes Tarzan of the Apes, but a strangely changed Tarzan, who now believes that he is Muzimo, a spirit or demon who was Orando's ancestor. But there are traitors among Orando's people, and in the village of the Leopard Men is Kalibwana, a young American woman who has come to Africa to find a missing man. Only Tarzan can save her. Tarzan's Quest, 1935. Tarzan of the Apes had heard only rumors of the Kavuru, a strange, evil tribe said to have long reaped their human prey from among the local natives. But when they stole the daughter of Muviro, chief of the Waziri, the Lord of the Jungle sets out in search of their legend-shrouded village on a mission of rescue, or if need be, revenge. He does not know that his trail runs close to that of a strange group of survivors of a crashed plane, including his beloved mate Jane, who must call upon all the skills she has learned from Tarzan to keep herself and her companions alive amid the terrors of the jungle, and an even worse danger lurking in their own party. But the stranded Europeans and the ape man are destined for a rendezvous with blood and fire in the dreaded temple of the Kavuru. Tarzan and the Forbidden City, 1938. Tarzan cared little for the fate of adventurer Brian Gregory, drawn to the legendary city of Asher by the rumor of the Father of Diamonds, the world's hugest gem. But to the ape man, the tie of friendship is unbreakable, and Paul Darnau's pleas move him to agree to guide the expedition Gregory's father and sister have organized for his rescue. The enigmatic untamed is also obsessed with the father of diamonds, and has planted agents in the Gregory safari to spy out its route and sabotage its efforts. Both parties reach their goal, remote Asher, as prisoners of its priests, doomed to die in loathsome rites.